Exactly.
Okay. Jeff, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. You're added to the stream. Describe what we're looking at.
So this right here is a list of my clients, and this is from last year to date.
So those are all comfort consults.
A majority of these, 99% of them are comfort consults.
Okay. And a few of them are experimenting with free quote path.
Yes.
So this is the initial. Go ahead.
Yeah, nope, you're fine. So when you first log in and everything, I mean, this is what we're going to see, right? Is you're going to have your list of all your people, and we're going to add someone. So what you can do is, are they a current client? Yes, no, right? Put it in however you want. So put all their information in. So you guys can kind of fill in
Some
here
future
too.
things that we're hoping to do. You put this address in is similar to auditor. Get you to the point where you get to the house truing up your energy audit instead of building the energy audit. And the first iteration of that is likely the load range, likely load range for those of you that are required to do load calcs for your municipalities.
Yep. And this is where I see in the future, right? Because we're still working on that APATH and it being completed. So hopefully in the next, month or so, it'll be ready. But what's this service about? I can see this going from service replacement. I know we could put other, but it'd be nice if there was a little thing here, where we could put, like, if it's a warranty, because you had hinted at that earlier.
Oh, yeah.
But again, most people are going to put in replacement, and then you could put in how they were referred, employee, whatever it may be, if it were a TO. So these are the questions that we talked about earlier, right? So
set them all to 3 and you'll be able to show at the bottom.
Yeah. So if they all answer 3 on each one of them, what we'll see down here is total score 12, and it says low, right? So it automatically calculates it, and then it throws up a video here of what may be recommended for that total score. So there's a video that pops up as well. Would you like me to play it? It's
sure.
A short video.
I'm Nate Adams, CEO of HVAC 2.0. Thanks for taking the comfort quiz. Most people who score below 13 choose the free quote path. This is an industry standard like-for-like replacement. These visits typically take between 45 and 90 minutes. Our clients consistently report that watching the next few short videos really helps them in the 15 or 20-year decision that you're about to make. This video will roll into that, or click the links below. Thanks again, and good luck with your project.
So the nice thing about that, the additional videos that are on there are going to be the duct pressure, the 6 functions of HVAC videos that can really help, again, educate that client for you before you even get into the home.
Just for giggles, slide that bottom one over some.
Which one?
Yeah, that one. Slide it up. So there you go. You got an 18.
So when you're in there, you score something that's greater than 8 on one of these. That's usually a big enough pain point that if you don't do something about it, and to responsibly avoid responsibility, you are going to be held accountable for those issues indefinitely after.
Yeah, you want to say to this homeowner, are you sure you don't want to do a comfort consult? If they say, yeah, we really don't want to, say, well, do me a favor and slide this down to a 6 or a 7.
So, and if they decide, yep, that's fine, I don't want to do it, I want to do that, then we can move it down. But what's most important to me and the training that I do to technicians and stuff, and even salespeople, is that the details that you can put here. So if they did score it at a 9, why did they score it at a 9? Whatever they've mentioned to you or told you, make sure you document that. So that's all back to that, the documentation and offer decline.
Repeating people's pain back to them is an integral part of the whole Sandler selling system. You're going to have to redirect them back. So remember when you said this, and keep reminding them that the whole reason for this is to solve that comfort issue in Johnny's room.
And then from here, again, once they score that, they go over it, they verify it. We educate them on both paths, both the free quote and the comfort consult path. Then they get to decide what they want. So to me, what's nice about this is, once you have all this in here, you select your date, this is something that even internal team can do. Right?
Yeah.
So we can hit that. And then once that's there, we can submit that. And it will create that for us.
So, and you can have this on your website so that prospects can fill that out.
Yeah.
But, and once they've filled it out, they've created themselves as a customer in the software. So this is
right back here.
John Doe in the software now.
So, and then
there's 4 questions.
Yep. So from there with that, so say this was created in the office or whatever it may be. In my case, I usually create it the day of or the night before, whatever, before going out there. But the first thing you want to do is go over the 4 questions. So you can go back in here. You can see any notes that's put in here, validate that they scored it. Because as it was mentioned earlier, the first time they hear a question, they may not fully grasp it or understand it. But then once you kind of go over it again, they may change it.
Yeah, some things will often have occurred to them, and they'll be glad to have that asked again because, I'm glad you're asking me again because after I answered that, I realized here's a better answer.
Yeah. Yep. And then that goes back to that roadmap that you kind of showed earlier that we were talking about, is that I think I saw somewhere that someone had asked about the AB emails. Well, those are things that are integrated into the software that, that you can send out to clients before your visits. So
you want to send the homeowner kind of a summary of what to expect from the visit and what to be prepared for. And so we have some standard emails for that.
Yep. So from here again, this is still work in progress. So kind of get to see the raw side of it. Right. So show hints. So first time people that are going to be using it and seeing it here, this is just little tips that we'll have in here. Once you start to understand what these questions are and why they're there, then you can remove the hints. But we'll go through, we'll ask questions. How deep into this do you guys want to go?
We're over the hour right now. So we should probably blaze through it.
Yep. So again, we have it set up from working with a lot of contractors across the country and knowing a lot of contractors across the country. And Reedy may be able to attest to this. Ken, what sales process do sales guys have?
Whatever they want.
Whatever they want, right?
Shoot from the hip.
Yep.
Shoot from the hip.
Just trust me, Mrs. Jones. I know what you need.
Yeah. So what's really nice about this is that you're going to have, it's going to be documented. You're going to ask questions. You're going to set yourself apart. You're different than that next person. You're actually listening to them. You're taking the time to write these things down and still offer different options, right? You're being the guide to whatever they decide that they want to do.
What you're saying to me right now, Mr. Doe, sounds important. Do you mind if I take notes?
Yeah, absolutely. And then from there, there's videos that's going to be linked into it. So maybe they didn't watch the videos. You can offer it. At any point, again, we do offer that off ramp to a comfort consult if they choose to, especially if they start, saying that they have some issues that they'd like to address, or, hey, what with this new system that we put in for you, what would you like it to change, if anything?
Yeah, and having this offered throughout is important because every time they decline, they're taking a little bit more ownership of any comfort issues that they have after you sell them that single stage piece of crap.
Yeah. And again, if that's what they choose, so be it. But again, we'll go through, we'll document yes, no's, we'll answer all these. If you have a long answer, expand things out. So here's where we do also offer duct pressure testing. So say it's a marketed lead. Don't know what
If
the duct
the
pressure
ductwork
is.
looks questionable, you really need to ask these questions, or you're taking ownership with your silence.
Or if the system is loud.
I think it needs to be asked irregardless, even
Oh
if the
no, I
system
think it
looks
needs to
amazing.
be asked regardless. But that's the point I'm trying to make is
Mhm.
this is really important.
Yeah.
Especially with new equipment that requires that may require more airflow.
Yeah. Again, the first standards, right, from 2019.
Yeah.
Going from a PSE to these new EC motors. Again, it's still got these videos that they can watch. If they haven't, you can offer it to them if they want to watch it with you, or you want me to send this to you, you can share it right from the software. Duct pressure video, offer the testing. They say yes, no, again, document. From here, we can ask our budget questions, and then do you want your equipment on the spot? So the nice thing is as you're going through this, if there's some side notes that you want to take, is you can actually jump through here and throw some notes in that we'll save for internally for yourself to remind you. Or you can always go back to the 4 questions and go, hey, look, you mentioned this here, but you just told me this. So you can always go back and bounce back and forth.
And you always want to go, if something doesn't add up, if they give you one response earlier and then 20 minutes later they give an answer of something that contradicts that, always re-ask that question. And don't feel, it's going to feel uncomfortable at times to do that, but that's exactly why you have to do it. Because if you don't, and you let that go through, every time you don't ask a question, you're just giving them, it's increasing the likelihood that they're going to be pointing fingers at you at the end of the day.
And maybe you just didn't ask it right the first time. Right? So you can save that. And then from there, we'll go through this real quick, is we have all of our measurements. So the nice thing about the measurements is once you run through everything and you save the data, it's actually going to create a sheet for your internal team on ordering things. So let me show you here. All our inputs, sizing models of what the existing equipment is. If you have mini splits or indoor units, you can type in all that. And then you can continue to add heads and stuff like that on your units. Outdoor unit, electrical service, whatever you may have there. All that, again, like I said, goes into a spec sheet for your office team or for documents. You can add photos, any ductwork notes that you may see, all the way through airflow measurements if we choose to do so, and static pressure worksheet. So this is where you can select your unit. Say it's a downflow. There you go. And what we do is we input our static here. And there you go. Calculate your, see again, work in process, guys. Right? It's not accurately calculating that. So That's why we said give it about a month. Joys of software. And this is where Nate has talked about in the past, where we have our load matching, dehumidification, or mixing and our options, right?
Homeowners love this because it helps them understand. I mean, the typical sales approach has always been to, well, what's the difference between this piece of equipment and that? Well, that's a SEER 13 and this is a SEER 15 and that's a SEER 17. How, I mean, you're not telling me anything about the equipment to encourage me to get better equipment. Whereas this tells you what the better equipment does. Like, oh, I'm going to spend an extra $3,000 to save $25 a year. That just doesn't make any sense. So you got to give them an understanding of the features that the equipment has so that they can understand whether those features are going to be important to them. I love this smiley face shit.
Yeah. And pick your install type, right? You know, it's choose your own adventure. It's choose your own path. What do you want to do? I'll educate you. You get to make the decision. So having this on here, you know, what's included or downgrades or upgrades is, and that's just one template. So again, you could do any template like Nate said. And then this is for that LLR. Hopefully this will be in the software at some point, but it will automatically input some of this for you on your sizing. So you don't have to go in and guess your leakage or look at those leaks, Tanner, and figure out what that leakage is.
Yeah, you
Just send me pictures.
plug
I'll
in
tell you what
square
it is.
footage
Okay.
and it'll calculate both sides of the leakage.
Now Tanner is the specialist. So like you said, you send him pictures, you pay him a fee, and he'll tell you what the leakage is.
Right down to the single CFM.
He's very, very good at it.
Oh yeah. Just if you don't test it, I'm accurate 100% of the time.
So save it. It's here. And again, generate quote form will populate here. And then also you'll have your internal form as well. Then from there, what you'll do is you'll purchase if you're not subscribed, right? Or you'll be able to actually.
Yeah, so you can sign up for this software for free.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use a lot of it for free. But these reports, if you're not a subscriber, you have to buy these one-off. So the free quote process is a $10 report, and a comfort consult is a $25 report. I think that was answering Jason's question.
Yeah. Yep. I just got back over so I could see him. Yeah, you can have what you said, subscription or pay per report.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you get a
Thank
response?
you very much.
How often do you get a
Yep.
response from the AB emails? On the initial emails, I don't get responses. Well, I'd say probably 2 out of 5 reply back and say thanks for the information on my end. When I get there with the client and I start talking about it, they do tell me that they've received the email. So I don't know about everybody else. The response that you guys get on that.
Yeah, well, you're also typically, I mean, with any email like this that you should be sending, you should have here what are the next steps are. So rather than just sending it to the abyss and hoping that you get something from it, which with an AB email, you're just basically prepping them for what to expect. So really the next step is to perform the A or the B visit. But now if say it's a follow-up report and these types of emails are really good to send for anything that you do. And so after, you do something or before and you send it, if you want a response, just, indicate of I'll reach out with you by X amount of time and double check and make sure you don't have any other concerns or questions. So, you want it to be to where they know what to expect is going to happen afterwards. You don't want to rely on them to just do what you think they should do.
Reedy, you've been very quiet. I think
I'm
it's late.
listening and taking it all in.
You have any thoughts or observations so far?
I think that for some of these fellows who are here, Jason, Jason, I think that you should put your feet in the water and try and see what you think about it. Maybe do this. Maybe do the pay a couple of them, and then when there's a little bit more to get involved than that. But I think you should do it. I think you're going to learn a lot, and I think you're going to make yourself a much happier person at the end of the day. If it was me, that's what I did. That's what I did, and I am much happier. So I think you will be as well. It's a great process.
Yeah, anybody that wants to,
You
just
you were on the free plan for a while in the beginning, weren't you, Jeff? Checking it out, deciding whether or not you liked the report, how the report was working for.
Yeah. I paid per report on several of them before I jumped in, but the report got me there. But how to take it to that next level, I've learned from Reedy, Ken, Tanner, everybody that's part of that group. So that knowledge is vast within the group, even outside the group, right? But how do you take that knowledge and how do you apply it? So going back several episodes, right? Knowledge unapplied is useless. That's what I was doing. So how do you take it to that next level?
Yeah, this process is not for the guy wearing a plaid sports coat telling you how much better your life is going to be if you buy our product. This is the process for the honest technician and the honest salesman who really wants to help a customer solve a problem. And we know we've got the information. We know we've got the equipment. And it helps the customer decide what's best for them. First, what do they want and what can they afford? And then we can help them make a decision based on those things. So they feel good. We feel good. We have fewer problems with the installation and the performance. It's a winning situation for everybody.
All done ethically.
Yep. If you're like me, and I know I am.
So in other words, if you wear plaid, it's just not going to work.
Not for
I don't know what
you.
to tell you.
Plaid and a white belt.
Grandpa. Well, thank you guys. That was it's not, we didn't go that far over. 9:18.
Yeah.
Whoever wants
right.
to be the number 2 ninja.
Rich has a question. Let's see. Yeah,
That's not a question. That's a plea.
that's a true statement.
We didn't have 560 slides to go through, so we didn't have a direction.
I know. I know. Any other questions from the peanut gallery, Peckerwoods?
Ask us your hardest question.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I guess we'll end here. See you next week. Nate will be back next week, so
He's the
for
biggest
those Nate fans that were
The
disappointed
slides.
by this week, our apologies.
Mr. Slide will be back next week.
Mr. Slides.
Good night, guys.
Just slide on in.
On to next